swear it's hard to forgive them all. Steady give them all. My heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears don't applaud. I ain't even worthy of it, cause I know I'm flawed. Saying you not perfect, but I see that shit differently. The best thing to come along in an infinity. So much affinity, I put you on a pedestal. Didn't like it, so you shut it down like Trump did the federal. Look, I'm here to tell you though, always gonna lift you up. You seeing flaws, but I'm seeing vivid gifts and stuff. And you, I found heaven, El Dorado and Shambhala. My peace when chips are down like a paralyzed Estrada. Sometimes I feel like Marvin, yeah, it make me wanna holler. Cause these feelings hit me quicker than performing a lambada. I don't ever wanna lose you, want this here forever. If we both feeling flawed, then we should be good together. Let's roll. Father, forgive me for this hate in my heart. I swear it's hard to forgive them all.
Yo, alright, I was recording something before this and I fucked up, knocked the phone over, and I didn't feel like trying to edit that out. So I decided I'll start over. Now, as I was saying in the other video, I had been thinking a whole lot on what I wanted to talk about in my next video. And there's a lot I want to talk about, but I got to try to find a way to navigate and, say it the right way without sounding like I'm full of a lot of malice, I guess you could say. Because I kind of am full of a lot of it in a sense, so I'm thinking about making the title of this video NFE's Lament and Loathing. That's what I'm thinking of making it right now. So I'm not sure. I might come up with something different by the end of the video. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead, start it off, So first off, I want to say to Janae, just in case you watch this video or whenever you watch it, happy birthday or happy belated birthday, just in case you didn't get the text. Because I don't know why, for some reason, when they come to my text messages, they never go through to you, but they go through to everybody else. Would have sent it on Messenger, but I'm trying to avoid Messenger. And plus, I had already written you the other day. So, just leaving that alone. But anyway, yeah, happy birthday to you. But yeah, so, first things first. A lot of things have been getting on my nerves lately. Stuff I'm sick of hearing about. Like, I've been sick of hearing about Silk Sonic, BTS, Megan Thee Stallion. I was already tired of hearing about Cardi B. Sick of hearing about Lil Nas X. I'm sick of hearing about a lot of stuff. But with the first two that I called off, I'm not exactly, I don't exactly hate them, Like, I've never been a fan of Anderson, so I kind of just, disregard anything with him on it. Like, even like this Eminem album, even though I liked some songs on it, I skipped over, well, not exactly skipped over the one with him on it, but I fast forwarded through his parts. Because I just don't like him. But as far as Bruno, I do like his shit, but not nowadays, I guess you could say. But anyway, with those two, with BTS and Silk Sonic, the main reason why I think I get so, well, not I think, the main reason that I know I get so agitated when they're mentioned is because, well, to be honest, they remind me of happier times. Even though with one of those, it was really just a couple of months ago, but when this Silk Sonic song at first came out, or at least I guess it was when it first came out, but I know that Janae was crazy about it. And she shared it with me. And that was a moment right there. Because I want to say that was around the same time, or maybe a little bit after I had made that video for her. I can't remember. Time has been so weird to me that, I'm still shocked, honestly, that it's November and that the month is almost out. And that it's about to be another year when you think about it. Because December right around the corner, and then there'll be January. And then, as far as BTS, of course, that's another group, that I know that she loves and that she's crazy about. And then with them also, she had sent me something, and I know this was right after I did that video. She had sent me something, a song of theirs, a performance actually. I think it was a live one. I don't know if it was a show they were on or from their concert. But I know she wanted me to guess which one was her favorite. And I racked my brain trying to figure that out. And I never could come up with an answer. And she probably thought I had forgot about it, but I hadn't. I just couldn't figure out who. And the crazy thing about it is I think she had told me before, but I couldn't remember. Like, when she did tell me, it most likely is in the messages of my old page, which, I can't access at all. It's things that I realized I should have been keeping, I guess, better track of. Because there are things I do remember. They're kind of like hard coded into me right now. But there are a lot of things I don't remember about her at all. Like, I'm fucked up about the fact that I can't remember her favorite color. Even though she's never really asked me, do I remember it or anything like that. But I can't remember. I want to say I thought she said orange or yellow. Because that's what keep ringing in my head. But I don't think either one is right. But, I've just been sick of hearing about them and seeing them everywhere. Like, I got upset over an article the other day that said Ghostface wanted to collaborate with Silk Sonic. And, but I honestly also got upset because I'm just getting tired of rappers doing this stuff. I mean, I know it's not out of the ordinary for Ghostface to do something like that. But I just kind of miss the days when rappers were just, rappers, and they didn't mess with anything that was way too, I guess say mainstream. I just miss those days. But I understand that a lot of the rappers that I like have gotten older and they look at things differently. But I guess that kind of brings me into another point. I'm going to be jumping around to different topics. But I know, like, probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think. Me and Rob were inboxing each other. And, one of the subjects that came up was rapping. Or me and my music, rather. And, he asked me that I still rap. And I told him I still write stuff, but I haven't really been, compelled to record anything. I just, I'll write things, but then I just sit on them. I've been sitting on a lot of songs. Enough to really make a little project out of, but the way I feel right now is that I don't have the audience for it. And I know, like, one of the points he made to me is that he goes live sometimes and it's just 100 people, and he was like, but that's fine to him. And for me, that would be fine too if I had 100 people to do something for. I barely even have 3. And, so yeah, one of the things he was trying to convince me is that, I don't need to quit, and that, because my music, he said, has made people feel a certain way. And so I need to, keep going because, as he put it, there are a lot of people who have said things to him about, man, I don't think I want to rap anymore or something like that. And I guess, he kind of clowns them a little bit because he's like, well, you weren't that good in the first place, but he said, like, with me, it's a different story. He's like, I actually have talent. And he was like, I don't need to, sit on it. And he was like, whether anything happens or not, whether I blow up or not, that shouldn't matter. I should just make stuff, just because there are people out there who want to hear it. And, I don't understand what he's saying. Because I know he said he's always been a fan, and I know that. But the thing is, when I was younger, I didn't have a problem with making stuff for just like 3 or 4 people. I mean, honestly, at one point in time, the only person I made stuff for was Ronald. He was the only person that really wanted to listen to me because just about every girl that I talked to, it got tired of me rapping on the phone. Because that's what I used to do in a lot of my, relationships back when I was younger. I used to rap on the phone with just about every girl I talked to. What I find hilarious though is that when I ran back into some of my exes that were trying to talk to me again, they was like, "You remember you used to rap on the phone to me and shit like that?" No, it's like, yeah, I remember. And I remember that you didn't like it. You know, and shit like that automatically just makes me not interested in a girl anyway. If she ain't trying to hear, what I'm working on, whether it's at least back then it was just my music, but whether it's that or the stories I'm writing or the art, that I'm making, if she ain't interested in any of that, I don't want anything to do with her. And that's like, again, like I said, I'm going to be jumping around to different subjects. But that kind of brings me to the next point of why I never want to be in a relationship ever again. Like, because a lot of women I've run across, they're like, I'm not going to say all my exes have been this way. Because, but, a majority of women I've talked to have never really been super supportive. And I get that in the past, my music and stuff, my rapping was not that good. Or it was good enough, but it wasn't good enough to be mainstream, And, of course, everybody back then, they thought the only benchmark of success was being on, radio or TV. But, of course, what I realized is that, there are a lot of people who have never been on the radio or TV at all. But they've had long rap careers. All they've done is been underground or independent. But they've done tours, all kinds of, shows and stuff like that. And that's when I realized, you don't have to really aim for the mainstream. But, of course, it was years later when I realized that. At first, I always thought mainstream was the way to go. And I always thought getting a record deal was the way to go. But now, I realized that I don't want a record deal either. Like I had told Trail when I talked to him on the phone, I want a, distribution deal. And like he said, even with that, you probably really don't even need to get a distribution deal. Just sign up with something like DistroKid, And, but the one thing I do know is that I need somebody to help me with marketing. That's one thing I do know. But anyway, back to the whole relationship thing. Yeah, I don't ever want to put myself out there like that again. With Janae, even though I fucked up a lot, I still was willing to do things that I never would have did with any other, young lady. I was willing to work on myself. I was willing to change for us. Now, of course, I didn't change in the amount of time that she needed me to change, and she got tired of waiting, she may be mad at me saying that, but I'm just saying, that's the way I see it. See, when I'm saying these things, I'm not saying that it's fact. That's just the way I see it. That's the way I feel about it. That's how I've taken it. I mean, actually, in so many words, she did tell me, that she just got tired of waiting. Yeah, I know 5 years was a long time for us to be going back and forth about a lot of things. But like I said, for me, but again, this speaks to what I said in my last video that, you can't really fix something, if both people's heart isn't in it, So for me, I would be willing to fix stuff as long as it took, and I mean, that's what I'm used to. A lot of the, women I've talked to, despite, having all these other issues and things like them probably not being that supportive, we were willing to, like I said, go the distance, work on things as much as we need to, and, the only reason why a lot of those relationships didn't work, and I won't even really say they failed, because like when I was younger, I really, I wasn't trying to be extremely serious. I would say stuff like that to girls. And like, I remember this girl named Crystal. We pretty much planned out what type of house we would live in, what type of cars we'd be driving. She already had some kids, but she wanted to have my kids too, and, but even though I planned all that stuff out with her, I really didn't want to go that far. And so I kind of started sabotaging the relationship myself. I ended up talking to a friend of her cousins, and what's so funny is that girl knew me and Crystal, were in a relationship, but she liked me. And, but of course, actually, at first, when she first found out that I was in a relationship with Crystal, she got upset. And like I told her at the time, I didn't know that she knew Crystal because I didn't. But I found out later. And of course, me and Crystal broke up. And me and Jada tried to talk again. But what's so funny is that, we was getting along at first. And then I don't know, she kind of just became kind of boring. Because, she was still messaging me and everything. So it wasn't that she had, I guess, lost interest in me. Because if so, like, she would have stopped writing me, period. Because sometimes she would write me first. Or she would comment on my pictures and shit. But, shit just kind of fizzled out real fast. So I moved, I moved on. Or rather, I went back to Crystal. But the thing I realized is that I really didn't want to be with Crystal, and it hurted me to tell her that, because I ain't gonna lie, even though I didn't want to be with her, I still cared about her. And, the funny thing is that me and Crystal had both been cheating on each other, but, we was willing to still, work things out and be together. Because, she was still sleeping with one of her baby daddies, I believe. But, I really didn't want to be with her, because it was a lot of things I started realizing that I didn't want to deal with. And I understand that, when I can understand that from the other perspective, which, brings me back to Janae, wanting to work things out with her, but there are things that she doesn't want to deal with or doesn't want to, go back to, as she's told me, I've had my chance, but of course, just for me, I don't think I've had enough chances. I understand how she feels, but I don't believe I've had enough chances. And that's just how I fucking feel about it, And, she keeps telling me that she wants me to be happy, but I'm never going to be happy. Simply put, I never am. As long as I never get another chance to make things right, I'm never going to be happy. And of course, if she, really does move on to somebody else, I'm, cutting her out of my life completely. We already don't talk, as much now anyway, because that's what she's, trying to do, put this, these boundaries between us. But, might as well just cut her out of my life completely if she's going to start talking to somebody else. Because I don't want to be, friends with her or even associates, if that's how it's going to be. If she's going to go ahead and move on, then fuck everything. So, because and to be completely honest, there was somebody who did that with me when she found out I was in a relationship, with Janae. She said she couldn't be friends with me because she couldn't stand to see me happy with somebody else. And I understood that. I was not mad at her, because I get it. You really love somebody, you don't want to see them happy with anybody else. And just to be completely honest, I know she ain't gonna like, for me to say this, but I don't want to see her happy with anybody else. That's just being real, might sound fucked up to say, especially considering that I say I love her, and I do love her, but I don't love her enough to want to see her with somebody else. I don't love her in that type of way, even with a lot of my exes that I am, I guess say happy for, I don't love them though. I'm not in love with them anymore. I'm in love with Janae though. So of course I don't want to see her happy with somebody else. Why the fuck would I want to see her happy with somebody else? That's just fucking stupid. Like I said, I know she gonna do what she wanna do. And that's, that's not what I'm complaining about. I'm not even really complaining, to be honest. I'm just saying that for me, No, stop up. This shit sounded weird. For me, I don't wanna I don't wanna be around, while she moves on. Simply put. And I mean, like I said, what she told me last time, that's what she's in the process of doing. So, even though she said she hasn't met anybody, she's not talking to anyone. Um, whether she is or not, if she's going to move on, then there's nothing I really have to say to her anymore. You know, I remember texting Takina, like, well, it was last week, and she just kept, asking me to do it. Well, she asked me twice, about me and Janae possibly being friends in the future. And I told her, I said, although I wanted it to be like that, I know it never will. And I know Janae had already said that we'll never be how we used to be. And that's true. We won't. And we won't be able to, make anything new, as I was suggesting in my last video, because like I said, she has how she feels, I have how I feel. And so because we can't meet in the middle, the feelings aren't mutual, we're never going to be able to build something new, let alone return to how we used to be. Because, even though I do love her, I love her a whole lot, and I want to fix things, a part of me is kind of starting to hate her, but and then, it's weird because I've been angry, pretty much all week. And I want to say I've been angry all month. Even in the moments when I was trying to plead with her, to, start over, I was still angry. And of course, part of my anger is knowing that I fucked up. I didn't say that a million times. That's part of my anger, knowing that I fucked up. Knowing that, I made so many mistakes. Like, I remember her saying some stuff to me last week that I didn't even remember saying to her. Some things apparently I said in the past that I don't recall at all. But, I told her I was sorry, that I shouldn't have said those things, and that, I was wrong, for what I said and for what I did. I just don't remember saying any of it, but I'm sure it was something I said at one point in time. And probably when I let my anger get the best of me, because that's one of the things that I often do. I let my anger get the best of me. But, I'm an emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I've never really been a private person either, So, I'm often outspoken about how I feel. And I guess I would have to say rap is what helped me with that. Being able to put my feelings into words, into lyrics, helped me to just be more open as a person, period. And like I said, I know the stuff I just said will be something that'll make her mad, and I'm apologizing for that, but it is how I feel. I'm not trying to start any drama, so I just want you to know that, Janae, I'm not trying to start any drama with you. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm venting. That's what I do, and I know to you, it may be some things I shouldn't talk about for everybody else to see, but the way I feel about some of this stuff is that none of it is really private. A lot of people know that we have had issues, I mean, a lot of this stuff would get blasted on Facebook, because I know it's no secret to the people around me. I know that much, because they had seen a lot of it go down. So I would never talk about anything that's really, really personal, that she has told me. But as far as how I feel about how our breakup went and how things are right now, I don't feel like that's something that I should, keep away or not talk about. See, I'm going to have to make 2 videos because this thing it's at 23 minutes right now. And the limit, I think, is like 32 or 33. And I'm probably going to be at that limit before I know it. But anyway, that's the way I feel. Like, like I said, I'm starting to hate her, but I guess it's less of hate and more of just me being bitter. Bitter that we don't communicate like we used to. Bitter that, you know, it seemed like I was getting somewhere with her, and now, that's not what she wants to do. Because she did admit that she wanted to try, at the time, but now she doesn't feel like that anymore. Her mind has changed. And, this brings me to the whole subject again of why I never want to be in another relationship, especially if I can't work out things with her, but why I never want to try anything with another woman, because I don't want to go through that, ever again. I don't want to go through the stuff that makes me feel like, I'm an afterthought. Because to be honest, I felt like that for a while, and like even when I cheated years ago, and I'm not saying that, me cheating was right. That was wrong. I should have never did that. I should have voiced how I felt, but I was much younger then. And I'm like I said again, I'm not trying to make it as an excuse, but I'm just saying the things that I know now, I wish I knew back then. The ways that I've grown now. I wish I'd have been more open with her back then. But see, I was fresh off of being single for a while. And then I had been chasing Kyra, and that didn't work out. And then, the stuff with honesty was still on my, I guess on my shoulders and whatnot. And so in 2015, cause see, I had already been dealing with the fact that, like I said, what I was going through with Kyra, I felt like an afterthought with her. I felt like I was just there, or I was just somebody that she just wanted to talk to here and there, but not somebody she wanted to actually have the company of all the time. And so when it started seeming like that with me and Janae, I got in one of my moods, and like honestly, the thing with Janaea, that was an accident. It really was an accident in the beginning, because I accidentally reacted to a picture, and then I inboxed her and apologized about it, and from there, that's when we ended up somehow becoming friends. Instead of her, telling me something like, you're creepy, you shouldn't have been, looking at my pictures. She thought it was funny and thought it was cute. Because I immediately inboxed her and tell her, hey, I was sorry, because I ended up liking a really, really old picture because I was going through her photos. And, of course, at the time on Facebook, we had corresponded with each other, but not a whole lot, so it wasn't like that we hadn't said anything to each other. But, I just decided just to go through, her photos and stuff. And, because I do that a lot with a lot of people. But I fucked around and ended up hitting something because I had dropped my phone, or almost dropped it. And when I caught it, bloop, hit the like button. And I wasn't trying to do that at all. So I immediately was like, oh, fuck, let me correct this. So I unliked it, and then I inboxed her and, told her how much it was an accident. And I'm sorry that I was creeping on her page, But like I said, it ended up, leading into me and her talking and flirting. And she ended up developing feelings for me. And, Janae asked me, did I develop feelings for her? And I didn't, not in the same way that she did. But I did grow attached to her. I'm not going to lie about that, And what it really was that I just wanted some attention at the time, and she was giving it to me. Because, me and Janae had, kind of discussions about her, working a whole lot, and it seemed like no matter how much we talked about that, I knew that, like I said, her working was what she was going to do, that's what was, her priority. And so, I couldn't do anything about that. I didn't want to come between her and her job, but I did hate that we weren't communicating as much. And one of the things she told me back then, she was like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, it's just an old saying, but it kind of rubbed me the wrong way at the time. And that was the reason why I had assumed that maybe she was talking to somebody else, you know? Because like I said, I didn't know, you know, I knew Janae, but I didn't know everything about her. And that's what I realized when we got together, that I only knew her at like surface level, you know? I didn't really know everything about her like I like I thought I did. You know, she turned out to be a totally different person, you know, once we got together. And I'm sure it was the same thing with me. Although, like she said, she did know a lot of things about me, you know, before, you know, we got together. She knew my history with a lot of other, you know, women and stuff. And, shoot. But, you know, she knew all that. And like I said, as I'm saying this and talking about this, I'm not trying to justify what I did. What I'm really trying to explain is the mind state, the headspace I was in back then. They said what I did was wrong. I shouldn't have, you know, I shouldn't have cheated. Because like I said, you know, some people often like to say that I didn't cheat because, you know, I didn't touch the girl, you know, and they still, but see, saying that, you know, destroys the whole foundation of the relationship that Janae and I had. Because if they're saying I didn't cheat simply because that girl was far away, then that means I wasn't in a relationship because Janae was far away. And to some people, that is the logic. They don't think long distance relationships are, you know, serious. But to be with somebody for 5 years like that, if it wasn't serious, man, I don't know what to call it. You know, if there wasn't some serious feelings there, if there wasn't some type of love there, you know, I really don't know what to call it. I'm gonna stop this video right here, but I'm gonna record another one, you know, to continue talking about what I was talking about. So until the next one, peace.
I swear it's hard to forgive them all, steady give them all. My heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears gonna flow. I ain't even worthy of it, cause I know I'm flawed. Father, forgive me for this hate in my heart. I swear it's hard to forgive them all, steady give them all. My heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears gonna flow. I ain't even worthy of it, cause I know I'm flawed.